Hi students, today let us learn about the poem Frost at Midnight written by the famous romantic poet Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Coleridge was a famous English poet who lived from 1772 to 1834. Coleridge was a close friend of William Wordsworth, and together they helped begin the Romantic movement in poetry. His poems often talk about imagination, nature, and deep human emotions. In this poem, the poet shares his personal experience. It is set on a silent winter night when Coleridge is sitting in a room with his child. The child is sleeping and Coleridge is sitting near the fireplace. The calm setting and the quiet night make him remember his own childhood days. Like all loving parents, Coleridge also wishes that his child will have the happy experiences that he himself missed during his childhood. The frost performs his secret ministry, unhelped by any wind. The owlet's cry came loud, and hark, again, loud as before. The inmates of my cottage, all at rest, have left me to that solitude which suits obtrusive musings, save that at my side my cradled infant slumbers peacefully. It's calm indeed, so calm that it disturbs and vexes meditation with its strange and extreme silentness. Sea, hill, and wood, this populous village, sea and hill and wood, with all the numberless going on of life, inaudible as dreams, the thin blue flame lies on my low burnt fire, and quivers not, only that film which fluttered on the grate. The poet begins by describing his situation. He is alone with his child, as everyone else in the house has gone to sleep. It's a quiet winter night, and the cold weather has caused frost to form outside. The winds are silent, and the whole place feels calm, the kind of setting that helps a person dream. These are not ordinary dreams, but deep thoughts that bring together ideas about nature, philosophy, life, and human existence. The silence is broken now and then by the cry of an owl. Everything around is peaceful, even the nearby village is quiet. The poet sits near the small flame of the fire, watching a piece of ash move gently. They are his only companions in that still night. He feels connected to the silence and imagines that it reflects his own quiet thoughts. Still flutters there the soul unquiet thing, methinks its motion in this hush of nature gives its dim sympathies with me who live, making it a companionable form, whose puny flaps and freaks the idling spirit by its own moods interprets, everywhere echo or mirror seeking of itself, and makes a toy of thoughts. Have you ever sat near a campfire or watched logs of wood burning? Have you noticed how the flames dance and how the ashes slowly move in the air? Coleridge was also watching a similar scene in his house. To him, it was not just a piece of ash. In the quiet of the night, its gentle movement seemed to match his own thoughts, as if it shared a secret connection with his soul. He began to see it as a quiet companion, something that kept him company in his loneliness. The soft flickers of the flame became like a mirror for his wandering mind. As he watched it dance, his imagination began to grow. Every small movement seemed to reflect its own changing moods. It felt as though his spirit, calm and thoughtful, was searching for itself in the world around him. In that still moment, even the tiny flicker of ash became a toy for his thoughts, turning silence into wonder. But how laughed at school with the most believing mind, presageful, have I gazed upon the bars to watch that fluttering stranger, and as oft with unclosed lids, already had I dreamt of my sweet birthplace, and the old church tower, whose bells, the poor man's only music, rang from morn to evening, all the hot fair day, so sweetly that they stirred and haunted me with a wild pleasure, falling on my ear most like articulate sounds of things to come. So gazed I, till the soothing things I dreamed lulled me to sleep, and sleep prolonged my dreams. And so I brooded all the following morn, awed by the stern preceptor's face, mine eye fixed with mock study on my swimming book, save if the door half opened and I snatched a hasty glance, and still my heart leaped up, for still I hoped to see the stranger's face, townsman or aunt or sisters more beloved, my playmate when we both were clothed alike. Think about the times when you sat near a window in your classroom. Have you ever found yourself lost in thoughts, looking outside and imagining different things about your life? Even while sitting in class, your mind may have wandered into the wild world beyond the window. In the same way, Coleridge also dreamed of his school days. As a schoolboy, he often sat quietly, gazing at the iron bars of the classroom grate, watching a small piece of soot fluttering in the air. He called it his stranger. He felt almost magical that its tiny movements had some hidden meaning, maybe even signs of what was to come. While his eyes stayed open, his mind drifted back to his lovely birthplace, the peaceful village, the old church tower, and the bells that rang all day during the village fair, whose bells were the only music the poor could hear, and the soft, sweet sound filled him with hope and wonder. These comforting thoughts slowly made him sleepy, and even in his dreams, those memories stayed alive. The next morning in class, he sat with his eyes on his book but his mind far away. The strict teacher stood nearby, yet Coleridge's heart was full of hope. Whenever the door creaked open, he would glance quickly, wishing to see that fluttering stranger again. To him, it had become a symbol of imagination, mystery, and freedom from the strict world of school. Dear babe, that sleeper's cradled by my side, whose gentle breathings, heard in his deep calm, fill up the interpersed vacancies and momentary passes of the thought, my babe so beautiful, it thrills my heart with tender gladness thus to look at thee, and think that thou shalt learn far other lore, and in far other scenes, for I was reared in the great city, pent mid cloisters dim, and saw not lovely but the sky and stars, but thou, my babe, shalt wander like a breeze by lakes and sandy shores, beneath the crags of ancient mountain, and beneath the clouds, which image in their bulk both lakes and shores and mountain crags, so shalt thou see and hear the lovely shapes and sounds intelligible of that eternal language which thy God utters, who from eternity doth teach himself in all, and all things in himself. Great universal teacher, he shall mold thy spirit, and by giving make it ask. The poet now looked at his babe, sleeping peacefully beside him. In the deep silence of the night, between his wandering thoughts, the only sound he hears is his child's gentle breathing. This brings him comfort and peace. As he watches his child's innocent face, he wishes that his son will have a better life, a life very different from his own. Coleridge had spent his childhood in a crowded city, surrounded by buildings with very little open space. The only glimpse of nature he had was the sky and the stars above. But he wants his child to grow up close to nature, among lakes, mountains, sandy shores, fresh air, and the soothing sounds of the natural world. Like all loving parents, Coleridge hopes his child will enjoy the beauty and freedom that he himself missed in his early years. He believes that nature is a great teacher, one that can shape the child's spirit and gently guide him through life. Surrounded by nature, his child will learn to ask questions, to wonder, and to grow wise and kind under its loving care. Therefore, all seasons shall be sweet to thee, whether the summer clothe the general earth with greenness, or the redbreast sit and sing betwixt the turf of snow on the bare branch of mossy apple tree, while the night thatch smokes in the sun thaw, whether the eavesdrops fall, heard only in the trance of the blast, or if the secret ministry of frost shall hang them up in the silent icicles, quietly shining to the quiet moon. The poet lovingly imagines the future of his child. He believes that every season will bring joy and beauty into his life. In summer, the child will see the earth covered in fresh green leaves. In winter, he will hear the red-breasted bird singing sweetly among the snowy branches of an old apple tree. Even on cold mornings, when the cottage roof begins to melt and soft smoke rises in the sunlight, or when the icicles form and sparkle under the moonlight, nature will speak to him in its quiet, magical way. Coleridge sees nature as a gentle teacher, one that teaches not through books but through sights, sounds, and simple experiences. As a child grows close to the nature, he will learn to understand its rhythm and secrets. Every drop of water, every bird's song, and every shimmer of frost will become part of a divine language, a language that touches the heart, nurtures the soul, and fills life with wonder. So, Frost at Midnight is more than just a poem about a winter night. It is about love, memory, peace, and hope. Coleridge uses silence and nature to express his deepest feelings and his dream for his child's future. He reminds us that nature is a great teacher. It helps us understand ourselves and connect with the divine. This is one of Coleridge's most beautiful and heartfelt poems. Finally, let us now look at the poetic devices used by Coleridge in Frost at Midnight. These are special tools poets use to make their language more beautiful, meaningful, and emotional. They help readers see, feel, and connect with the poem deeply. Let us go through them one by one. Imagery. Imagery means using words that help us see, hear, or feel something. Coleridge uses vivid pictures that make the scene come alive in our minds. For example, in the lines, the cottage windows through which I see, the dark trees, we can clearly imagine the poet sitting inside, looking out at the dark trees. This image helps us feel the calm and quiet winter night just as he does. Personification. Personification is when a poet gives human qualities to non-living things. In this poem, Coleridge writes, "The frost performs its secret ministry." Here, the frost is described as if it is quietly doing a special job or duty. This makes nature feel alive and active, almost like it is working in silence. Alliteration. Alliteration means repeating the same sound at the beginning of nearby words. For example, in the line, "The day is come when I again repose," the sound of the letter D is repeated. This repetition gives the line a musical quality and draws our attention to it. Symbolism. Symbolism is when Symbolism is when objects or actions stand for deeper ideas or meanings. In Frost at Midnight, the frost and winter are not just parts of nature. They symbolize quietness, reflection, and learning from nature's calm wisdom. Through these symbols, Coleridge teaches us that silence can be powerful and full of meaning. The tone is overall mood or feeling of the poem. Here the tone is calm, gentle, and thoughtful. Coleridge's quiet reflections, his love for his child, and his peaceful surroundings create a sense of harmony and deep emotion. The poem feels like a soft conversation between the poet, nature, and God. So these poetic devices make Frost at Midnight rich and meaningful. They help us not just understand the poem, but truly feel its peace, silence, and beauty.